Okay guys, it's Monday, Thanksgiving Day up here in Canada, and I'm going to do a little bit of work on the truck obviously today. And what I was planning on doing was trying to get some of the little fiddly bits of painting done. Now here's a couple of pieces that I pulled out of that other truck. A couple of pieces are, people call them rare, I don't know how rare they really are. That's the radio delete plate. It just snaps in where the radio goes, cover it up. That's a lighter delete, which is just literally a piece of plastic that snaps in the hole. And of course there's the ashtray. Now this ashtray is kind of cruddy in here. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it. I obviously don't want to paint the inside of it. I've got some nickel plating solution. That's meant for plating like electronic circuit boards. And what I might do is I might see if I can work out some way to dip it in, you know, or maybe even just run it in, you know, slosh it around to the inside of it. I'm not really sure, and deal with it that way. But those are some of the few remaining things that have to get body paint color. But I've got a long list of things that I've got to do. Maybe I can do this and get the transmission out of the way. Transmission is a priority, so I might just do that. And then what I can do is I can stuff that in here. Then it's off the floor of my shop, and I can actually go and put the hood back on, because I was waiting until I put the hood back on before. Okay, that was just dirt. Waiting to put the hood on until after I put the engine transmission back in, and this should be the last time that engine transmission will be coming in and out of that thing. At least, you know, until I blow the motor doing something stupid. So, after all that explanation, all that paint work I have to do, I'm having a hard time getting motivated today. Not for any bad reason. Just a beautiful day out here. Have a look. Just quiet. Not that much traffic. I can hear some car going down the road there, but that's about it. Just a nice, sunshiny day. If there was a bed on this thing, I'd just lie down on the back and catch up on YouTube videos. Work gave me that playbook, as well as a smartphone, so I'm abusing it by watching some videos in my spare time here. Anyways, I suppose I should try and do something later. Okay, so it's been a little bit of a slack day. It's nearly 4 o'clock. I've touched up the engine so that it looks all good. No more, there's dents in the oil pan, but there's no more scratches anymore. I've primed the transmission over there. Not much to see there. And I'm just waiting for it to pass the recoat. No, that's not the right term. I'm waiting for it to basically pass the, you know, supposed cure time before you can lay down some paint on it. I'm just going to spray bomb it with some Duplicolor stuff. Anyways, I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. To you guys, it'll be 1 second. Right now. Okay, tranny's done. What can I say? It's gray. I should have chosen a different color. I did make one mistake. I did mask off all my sensor plugs, but I went and I should have masked off the rubber here. If it deteriorates, I'll have to go and replace it. Hopefully that stuff doesn't wreck it, but we'll see what happens. It might even peel off when it... yeah, you can see it. Actually, is that just the paint, or is that the rubber that's cracking? Well, regardless, looks like it'll just come right off anyways. Whatever. But, you know, what can I say? It looks like a transmission. Painted gray. I'm just trying to decide if I want to try and put the engine and transmission in, but I realized I don't have the correct bolts for my motor mounts. These are 3/8, and obviously they're too small. I think what I'm supposed to have is 7/16, but I never seem to have 7/16 in my bolt bin. So I guess that probably won't go in. Okay, so it's nearly 6 o'clock, so I got at least a couple more hours left in the day that I can fart around. So I think I've decided that I am going to put the engine and transmission in. The only thing is I got to find the hardware for the transmission for the torque converter bolts. Looks like that slipped forward. It's a pain in the ass. Can damage the seal. It wasn't sitting that way for long because I only just noticed that way, and it wasn't that way before. But I don't remember where I put the bolts. They should be in my bolt bin box marked upstairs, but I'll have to go and check that out. A little disappointed with the way some of the paint fared on this engine here. You know, like a lot of the black rusted through, just sitting in the shop, and a lot of the green on the motor flaked off, but whatever. Anyways, I should have bolt hardware for here. It's just 3/8, and I'll get some grade 5 hardware. I've got plenty of 3/8 grade 5. I just have to figure out how long I can go. Oh, these bolts aren't looking too healthy here. Look at that, eh? Okay, probably good to get this thing off of here as soon as possible then. Any excuse. So now I just have to try and line this thing up. And with my overhead hoist, that's a 12,000 or 1,200, no, 1,300 pound hoist. So it's, well, probably just enough for that beam. Anyways, I'm going to get to it. Can yap and yap and yap because I really am avoiding it. But hey, let's get doing it. Look at that. It's always cool when you find your bolt hardware and realize that you had already painted it before. There's the engine to tranny bolts. And all my torque converter bolts, as well as the engine cover bolts. So nice and neatly marked too, as well. So I am going to drain the fluid out of this transmission. Unfortunately, the oil pan doesn't have a drain plug, so I'm going to make a mess, and I'm going to just pull the plug that I had in the dipstick hole and just tip it over to a thing, because I did want to change the tranny fluid, so I'll get as much out that way as I can, and we'll see what kind of a mess it makes. But then I'll bolt these two things together, which is going to be a bit of a circus because I've only got the one crane here. I suppose I could roll that thing over here to hold the tranny up, but I was just thinking I would, you know, probably put the tranny on a tire on my little rolling dolly here, and then just bolt it up on the floor. And that should work. So, anyways, I'm going to get to it. Well, there you go. Almost ready to go in. I'm going to have to probably steer the truck a bit to bring it underneath. So, it's not 100% lined up here. But no big whoops. So I'm going to lift this up, drop it in, and we'll be one step closer to this thing being done. Well, guys, here goes nothing. I really should put a blanket on the tranny there. That would help if I actually did bang it on the firewall, but I'm going pretty good, so. Blanket. It probably would have been smarter if I wouldn't have had the tranny cross member in, because that's what I'm trying to clear with that giant damper at the back, which I probably should have taken off as well. Okay. Just so you or in case you're wondering, this is me steering that damn dampener over the tranny cross member. Now. Oh, bullseye. The tranny mount is in. It wasn't even me steering it in, it just went in. I just gotta put a nut on it. Shit. Things aren't lining up. This was all mocked together before with the tranny mount and the motor mounts in the current position they're in. For some reason the bolt hole isn't lining up now. Oh, this sucks, quite frankly. Well, technically that's in, but because there's no more weight on the chain anymore. That thing settled quite far. I'm not sure what about those damn bolt holes. Once again, they seem to be way off. Okay, so here's the theory. The theory is that when I put it in, it was pushing back on the rear transmission mount, and what happened was it's actually flexed backwards. So I'm going to take a little bit of the weight off, roll the truck back a bit, and see if I can bring the engine forward a bit. I'm actually using the load level to level it, but this way because I've got it on a diagonal, which is not a good idea. It should have been a better way to do it, but well. Okay. Old transmission mount. Okay, engine and transmission is in. When I did the fitting, I did it with the old transmission mount, which probably there's nothing wrong with it, just a little bit crusty looking. But it looks like it's not exactly the same as the new transmission mount. Matter of fact, this appears to be the mounting bolt to the tranny cross member appears to be not that far behind the hole for the mount to the transmission, whereas the other one looks like it's offset more to the back. Well, I'm off by about 3/4 of an inch. I'm going to leave this till tomorrow, and I'm going to see what I can do. Worst case scenario, I'm going to re-drill the tranny cross member because I've got room that I can move it 3/4 of an inch forward, and then that resolves my problem. And then I don't have to keep cursing. Anyways, guys, that's it for today. I'm going to head in and upload this. I'll try and be merciful and fast forward through a lot of the boring stuff. Well, now you've seen it, so you would already know that anyways. So, later, guys. Okay, so I had another look at it. I think I'm wrong. That looks like that mount is the exact same as the other one. So it must have just... I'm not really sure. I'm not sure what's going on. I'm going to try and figure it out. And if need be, like I said, I'll re-drill that tranny cross member. One thing I did notice was that the front end didn't settle that much. It's only settled about an inch with the weight of the engine tranny in it. So it's a lot less than I figured it would have, but it doesn't matter. Just curious. I think that's it. The battery's almost dead on this thing, so I don't think I'm going to get much more out of it.